Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the edstoria Chat and Play. I'm Abigail Joseph, educator with ideas, and bringing you another creative moment this Sunday morning. So I hope that you will join me in the creative fun, and let's begin. So I am trying out a new format for Chat and Plays. And that is just to focus on just one creative moment and inspirational activity for the morning. And so um, hopefully you'll enjoy that new format. It's a little bit more time creating in just one thing. So this week is all about curiosity. So over the course of the season, our season of I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Oh, I'm not gonna do it. Sustain. Wait, I did it. The season of sustainability, of how are you sustaining yourself as an educator? How are you sustaining your creative practices as an educator? How are you staying inspired? And so, as we go through the season, we are going to explore creativity in all its forms. And this week, we're going to be exploring curiosity. And so, we are today focusing on talking about curiosity and playing with hand doodles. I'm so excited about this. I saw it on Pinterest. Like most of us see all those get our creative inspirations, and I'm excited to see what creatively unfolds with this hand doodle challenge. So, but before we begin, let's talk about curiosity. So, curiosity is definitely one of the traits of a creative thinker, of a creative person. I think if you want to be curious, if you want to be creative, you have to be curious about your world and how you might change and um, do things in a different way. And so, to spark our curiosity, I have a photo. So, I am going to hide this for one moment and bring up that photo. And this photo I got from Unsplash. It's from, let me check my notes right here. It's from Robin Cycles on Unsplash, and it was on the front page. I just picked any photo. Well, not any photo, a photo that was interesting. And I have it here for us to be curious about. So, looking at this photo, what are some things that you are curious about? Well, for me, I am curious about what is happening inside that home. Is it a home? Is it a shop? Um, and whom is this person visiting? I'm curious about that. I'm curious about where they came from. Do they live in this town, this area? Are they visiting a family member? What are they doing inside? Are they just chatting? Are they having lunch? If you're just joining me, I'm getting curious. We're getting curious today. And I have this photo, and I'm just putting out what I am curious about. So if you have any curiosities about this photo, please type them in the chat and say hello. And then in a moment, we will be switching to our activity, which is going to be hand doodles. So get ready to draw and trace your hand and go back to kindergarten. But this photo also makes me curious about um, how old the building is, where it is located. Definitely feels like Europe, somewhere in Europe. Um, Not many places in the US have such old looking types of buildings, but it could be in the US. And what else am I curious about? I am curious as to actually what is the bike leaning on? Is it leaning on a table? It kind of looks like a table, but I can't really tell from this angle. And what is the person carrying in their little bike pouch under their seat? Um, those are all my curiosities. Also, a bit curious about the little jetty outside of this right here. This part right here, this little jetty. What is that for? Is that for holding plants, a flag, something like that? So, all right, we're curious. And so let's get curious about getting creative. And we are going to embark on play with hand doodles. So, if you are now watching the recording, grab your paper, pens, pencils, whatever it is you love to doodle with, and let us begin. So, I am going to bring up the little doodle guy, and I'm going to make myself, nope, I'm going to do it the other way around. Yes. So let's begin. First, we are going to start off with drawing tracing our hand. So that's why I said we're going back to kindergarten. So I guess, excuse me for one moment. I'm going to slide on over. And I've got my hand on my page here, and it's a small journal, but I'm going to trace my hand to the best of my ability. And this is definitely something, oops, got the camera. Whoops, got the camera again. Well, takes us back to kindergarten or a lower grade anyway. There is my hand. Wow. It's large. There it is. You can see I traced the entire thing. My thumb went off the page, but that's okay. And so we begin with the hand doodle. And there's no right way to be creative. It's just the matter of how inspired you're feeling. So what I saw with the thing that what inspired me was that the person drew the hand and then drew a bunch of random lines um, that kind of denoted the areas for doing various doodles. And so you could do that. You could just start doodling and just see where it takes you. And so that's what I'm going to do this morning. I'm just going to start doodling and see where it takes me. Um, and this is just have to be curious about the outcome. And for whatever reason, today I'm starting with red. So uh, let's see. Um, One of my favorite doodles are little swirly things. So I'm going to start with a bunch of swirls, which now that I'm looking at them look like at symbols. Um, but that's okay. And I'm going to just keep doing that for a little while. Over this part of my hand. And I think what's cool about this doodle is if you wanted to, you could think about all the ways that things that make you happy or things that will sustain you, or you know what? Just take it where your mind goes and be curious. When a shape pops into your head, be curious about it, explore it, and see where it takes you. So, this was the first shape that popped into my head. So, this is where I am taking that, and this one didn't quite work out right, but that's okay. And there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. So there is, I am ready for another color. So I am going to, I don't know. All right, I'm going to go with pink, which is very similar to this red. So it might not look different, but it is a different color. And for this part, I am going to adhere to these shapes, but then I'm going to add a new shape that kind of mirrors it. And then I'm just going to fill this in with more of this shape. Almost looks like a ring. And I'm just going to keep going until it's filled in. And that makes me curious about ripples or scallops because of this part right here makes me think of scallops. So I am going with blue right now, and I'm gonna make some scallops. And this week in the edstoria educators lounge, we have been talking about curiosity and things that people have been curious about during the week. And one thing that came up for me was I had this opportunity this week to take a drawing class, courtesy of my job. And it was one of those, I've always actually wanted to do one of these classes, one of those uh, painting or drawing classes where you paint and draw with a bunch of people and you drink some beverages. And I just never went or thought about how to go about doing that. So I did this class and it was great. It was so relaxing, much like doing these creative challenges every morning for Astoria are. And I just really enjoyed my time. And I realized that I need to chunk my time so that I'm not doing this multitasking thing that we all think we can do, but we really can't. And I know I am not a multitasker. Like, I am that person who needs to concentrate on one thing and one thing alone with dead focus. And I can't be distracted. So I've been curious this week about how to block out my time. And if you are just joining us today, we're working on hand doodles. So trace your hand and start filling it in with whatever patterns or imagery that comes to mind. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. Just jump on in. And yeah, I said that just sounded very youthful. And yeah, um, that is today's youth's like. Uh, so I'm going to continue a little bit. And ooh, I did not bring my phone. I was going to play a little bit of instrumental something. But I left my phone in the other room. So we are just going to sit in silence and doodle a little bit. And we'll see if anyone comes in. And if not, that's okay too. Um, It's just time to sit and be creative. And if you're watching this afterwards, just take that time for yourself and do something fun. Um, I realized that filling an entire hand might be more than a 20-minute project. So you might do it in chunks, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and think about just turning on some music and letting your mind wander wherever it wanders. And I would love to see any finished hand doodle creations that you come up with. So I will be here right now, continuing to doodle. And if you are joining me, I would love to chat with you in the comments. So, um, so I'm going to do a few more of these little scallopy things. They're almost like waves, actually, which is kind of cool. Which makes me want to add in, I have this other kind of green blue, and makes me want to put that in the in-betweens. Ooh. Sort of, in a way. So now I feel like doing something super organic. And I don't know what that is, but that's the feeling I get. And the color of this organic thing, green, of course. I don't know why green is organic, but I'm going to focus on that. Hmm. I once was at a workshop and started to create this really interesting doodle pattern, which is funny because it was way before, Zentangles and doodling was a thing. And then I stopped doing it. And I don't know why, because it was really just a fun thing to do and a great way to focus. So, um, if you ever need to figure out how to focus during a meeting, perhaps a little doodling is what you need. And maybe that's what some of our kiddos need, right? We as adults need ways to concentrate. Perhaps um, our students need ways to concentrate as well. And it's just whatever is coming to mind. And you take that where you can, and if something new sprouts, great. And if something new doesn't sprout, that's okay too. But it's really being curious about what just comes to your mind and using that as a means to create. And in this drawing class that I took, she talked about like really drawing is about being loose. And I don't think that doodling has that same looseness, not in how you hold your medium, um, but more looseness. I think it's more a looseness of the brain, which drawing can be too. I mean, doodling is a form of drawing, right? So um, it's just a matter of how you want to interpret the looseness in your mind, I gather. And I'm going to finish off this finger and then I'm going to send this out into the world to continue our beautiful doodles of um, organic matter, or however you want to describe your crate. Now, of course, if you're doing things with little tiny dots like this, it'll take you a while, which is why I have decided that today, um, especially since it's an entire hand, it might not be completed today, but it will definitely be a start and hopefully encourage you to, maybe it's this is your project for the week and you work on take 20 minutes, 10 minutes each day, put on some music and just fill in this hand. And I hope that when you are all complete, you will share your creation with me um, on the bottom of this video, or you can send it direct message me on edstoria, or post it and tag it at edstoria. However you want to do it, please do share, because the more you share, the more we inspire everyone else to do these things. So I'm gonna stop here for now. I am enjoying what I've created. So let's give it a look. It's coming along beautifully, and it's fun. So I hope that you are inspired by your hand noodles and what they capture for a moment. It's not a capture a forever or a past, it's just the capturing of the moment. And I would love, if you do this, to tag at edstoria and use the, I'm going to hide this now, but use the hashtag creativity sustained, because we're in the season of being sustained, and share it on Twitter, on Instagram. If you're going to do it on Facebook, post it in the comments this video. I would love to see your beautiful creations, and I'm sure so many other people would love to see what you've created as well. And so with that, I'm going to wrap it up here and leave you with my 6-word story for the week, which is slow down, live your life now. So go out there, stay curious, and slow down a little and live life in the moment, because you only get one. I'll see you all next week.